Hey everyone, Wanderbot here, and welcome back to Runers. So we're going to be playing as the human with the Corpse Creeper and Mind Spike. And the difficulty, I think, is just intimidating right now. I've been playing on a lot of Apocalypse difficulty and Nightmare difficulty recently. It's kind of one of those where it's like, you know what, I should probably actually go back down, play something a little bit easier. Really, I just want to beat Ferris. And I know Ferris spawns... you can actually fight Ferris in this version, so I'd prefer to beat him. And then, maybe we can go up and... Oh, jeez, this is gonna be bad. Or not, never mind. Wow, those explosive zombies are actually really useful in certain circumstances. That freaking bats are a problem, but looks like there's a fair number of health drops right off the bat. And if that keeps up, that'd be really nice. Okay, so... couple of options for this run. I'm going to try and keep it fairly open-ended, but I really would like to go back and try the magma laser build that I was trying for earlier, but never actually got around to doing. Because I think that would be really fun to go with. And also, we're starting with Mind Spike. I think I mentioned that. Not entirely sure. But yeah, human, necromancer, Mind Spike. Because the thing is, I actually really like Mind Spike. It may be better than Chaos Bolt just because I can aim it, and the strike through is, I mean, unequivocally amazing. Let's just get around. Now the thing is, I might go with double... Oh, hey, come to think of it. I was going to say, I might go with double Mind Spike. I already can. So let's just go with a bunch of not knockback. We're going to go with a bunch of strike through right now and see how things go, because honestly, you don't want double Mind Spike, because the thing is, it shoots from the sides. But this way, we've got 3 projectiles converging into one singular area. It should work, actually, fairly well at clearing out groups of enemies. We're probably going to have to switch it up, but strike-through run seems like it could be actually a lot of fun. Magma Laser would be great for that. It does have a longer cooldown, but whatever. And the Bouncy Light spell that admittedly I've used for the last 2 runs would be really nice for that as well. I think I might just avoid it though purely because I have used it the past 2 runs and I'd like to diversify, even though I haven't really gotten that build working. Like, we didn't even get the second double bouncy spell until the very end. It almost seems like one of those that I should actually double down on real hard, as opposed to partially. Also, as far as things go, there is the consideration of another fusion run, because I would actually like to do fusion a second time. Of course, furthest I'm ever going to go with is quad fusion. Why am I sleepy all of a sudden? This is one of those days where it's like, oh, maybe I'll record some Runers, because admittedly I have been slacking a little bit my recordings of it. And part of the problem is I've been recording a lot lately. I've been recording a lot lately, like too much. And it's not that I'm getting fatigued so much as just I'm getting overwhelmed with, stuff that I should be recording and stuff that I should be doing. Because I've been doing a lot of FTL with my brother, which has been, quite frankly, amazing to do. Just because FTL is really hard, and I enjoy playing with somebody that, can give me backup advice for when I'm making stupid decisions. And I've tried to get him to do, like, co-op gameplay on this and some other games. The problem is, he's really only interested in FTL as it stands, so as much as I'd like to do some co-op footage of this, I might have to wait. That said, might get some opportunities here and there. We'll see. But apart from all of that, it's just one of those where it's like, I've mentioned this before, but if you add up the amount of time I spend recording each of the episodes, I really hope this level loops in on itself so I don't actually have to backtrack. But if you add up all the time of, like, parts 1, 2, and 3 for an episode, a lot of the time it's an hour and a half, if not more. And that's usually a pretty substantial time commitment. And it's not that I regret it so much, it's just, it's very hard to fit it in. Whereas, like, Nuclear Throne can be any length, just sheerly based on, how successful or not I am. Yeah, Nuclear Throne is short. Hand of Fate is short. Risk of Rain is longer. Risk of Rain, I mean, admittedly, is shorter or longer, because it used to be a lot longer for me, because the whole time clock handling was improper. But at the same time, it was always one of those that I wanted to record a series on. I just didn't really get the chance. But now that I have, and now that I can, well, there's that. So now we've got 3 entropy runes. We could go with Prismatic Devil right off the bat. It's actually quite tempting, because it is a very solid beginner spell. Also, it looks like the level does, in fact, loop back on itself. I'll think about it. Oh, I don't have my class ability right now. That's a problem. Oh, well, we're going to be fine. We've got so many health pickups. Really taking a whole lot of damage here is not going to be particularly destructive. Though, we are still playing on Intimidating. It's just not as hard as Apocalypse. So, I'm kind of overconfident right now. Based on, what can be harder than Apocalypse? And the answer is nothing. At least not as far as this game goes. So, Tropic Body, nope. 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 Wow, these are all worthless. Trying to think, because damage dampening is pretty worthless. Static skin, all of them are mediocre. Let's go with armor piercing. Maybe I'll see if I can go for a high crit build. Because at the very least, that's going to be effective against bosses, which would be nice. I'm going to try and stop yawning here. I don't know, it's just one of those where it's like, I'm trying to get my sleep schedule back out. Oh, it's just Shrinkify. Well, this ain't no thing. Let's just fire off a couple of zombies, get them into some kind of... Hello? Those zombies. Not zombies. Those... Well, yeah, my zombies did quite a number on those skeletons. I'm kind of super pleased about that one. Okay, let's crush these guys, and I don't know where the fire mage is, so I'm gonna have to kind of charge him a little bit. I kind of wish there was like an indicator so you could at least see. So you could go with bullet speed, bullet size. I'm gonna go with bullet speed, especially with strike through. Faster they go, better off we're gonna be. I really do wish this game had kind of the risk of rain equivalent of command mode where you could just pick from all of them. Because that would be kind of awesome. Because, I don't know, it'd be really interesting to have like the build where you have absolute control over everything you have. It'd be nice. Because, I don't know, like if you could use whatever runes you wanted. Because I think it would be really fun to actually do some runs where it's just like, you know, today we're going to start off with Quad Fusion and see how far we can get on Apocalypse difficulty. And like if I did it on Wimpy, I'd just flat out win unless I ran into a particularly bad fight against, say, the Bombardier. But I'm gonna go with Quick Learner. Want to get those talents off as best as possible. Yeah, but I guess it's not the end of the world regardless of what happens. Oh hey, there's the staircase. It would just be nice because otherwise I have to rely on the RNG, and sometimes the RNG is not particularly pleasant to, I don't know, my rune drop chances. Sometimes it's just like, oh hey, yeah, we're not going to give you any light runes. It's like, but I want light runes so I can do the build I want. And I guess part of it is I really should just be more flexible with what I get. It's just, you know, back in the day, maybe 20 episodes ago, triple combiners were new and unique and interesting. And, you know, there was, you know, so very few spells that I actually had unlocked. So anytime I came across something that was particularly overpowered, I could actually, you know, throw it in the build and be like, wow, that fits well. But now it's like, discover a spell, doesn't fit with what you need. Disregard and throw away. It's not exactly the best way to do things. Also, holy crap, this level is huge. That surprises me a lot. Oh well. Now, the other thing I do have to say about the frequency of runers is pretty soon well, not pretty soon, tomorrow. As long as this video goes up at the appropriate time. Tomorrow's when Binding of Isaac Rebirth comes out. And I think I've mentioned this a couple of times. Maybe? But I'm going to be playing the crap out of that game. I'm kind of bad at the Binding of Isaac games just because they're probably the most punishing of a lot of roguelikes. I mean, I guess there are a lot of ones that aren't. But for whatever reason, I feel more pressure to succeed in Binding of Isaac over any other roguelike I've ever played, which is weird. Maybe it's because with Binding of Isaac, you can die very early on, and you can, like, with runers, I'm gonna go with max HP. With the runers, I can kind of have like this weird hackneyed build and do okay for a substantial amount of the game. Binding of Isaac has a very large number of bosses that just are completely insurmountable if you don't have the adequate equipment for it yet, which to me is kind of weird and annoying. I got a lot of interesting runes here. Because it's one of those where it's like, you know, if you're up against Gertie and you don't have enough damage, he becomes almost insurmountable just based on the number of, like, enemies you have to deal with. And it's very frustrating. Because, you know, the whole, like, not getting hit ever thing, I guess that's it. The whole concept behind the deal with the Devil Room, I can totally understand, but it also drives me insane. Because, well, I am a little bit on the accident-prone side of things, and if I can't even get into the deal with the Devil Room, it more or less gimps me for the rest of the run. Or if I'm... I guess it's just there's so many chances for crippling failure so early on. And that annoys me a little bit. Like, Runers, Tower of Guns, Nuclear Throne. All of those become highly based on player skill. Yeah, I guess that's it. It's like, even if you're particularly mediocre, you can still survive in all of these games. Or, no. Even if, like, the RNG has been unkind to you, you can still survive in these games. Whereas in Binding of Isaac, yeah, skill gets you a very long way. But I feel like after a certain point, there's just no winning if you don't have the adequate equipment for the task at hand. Which to me is problematic. Because I'm frequently accident prone and my luck is all over the place. Sometimes I'm extraordinarily lucky and sometimes my luck is the most worthless thing ever. See if I can take out that bandit. Guess I could send off some zombies. It still has a minute-long cooldown, and it's a solid spell. Don't get me wrong about that, but it seems odd for it to have a minute-long cooldown. I'm also starting to get the light shafts. Uh-oh. Yeah, I'm not bothering with that. Not here. Maybe if I decided to go with Prismatic Devil, but apart from that, I don't know. I could go with a Quad Devil run, see if I could pull that off, but that would be maybe a little unnecessary. I did do that recently, too. There's a triple combiner spell involving shock and air, I think, that I want soon. Just trying to take these guys out. Okay, so we get a speed rune. Try not to pick up the health. Oh, my inventory is full. I was like, why did I pick up the health and not the speed rune, even though it's closer to that? Inventory is full. Whoops. Oh, well, I should be fine here. And I'm just kind of forging ahead with just the triple Mind Spike, because, I don't know. Currently it's working. It works for me. But yeah, it's one of those where it's like, I'd love to do Binding of Isaac frequently, but it is one of those where I'm concerned that my performance is going to sink the series. But then again, not everybody is good at any type of game, and since Binding of Isaac has such a high skill cap, and such, honestly, a lot of it is knowledge, too. It may just be one of those where I just need to play it more. And I feel like I should be practicing Binding of Isaac leading up to it, but at the same time, it's kind of one of those where it's like, I don't want to have Isaac fatigue when when Rebirth comes out. Even though I find it kind of hard for me to get fatigued from games. I'm far more likely to get, like, fatigued from people that I do cooperative stuff than the actual game itself. 90% of the time. The Battlefield series, for example. I technically have been recording a co-op series on that, but it's not really much of anything. But that game drives me up the wall because of just sheer balancing issues. And it's like, yeah, I know that's the state of competitive shooters, but at the same time, when you end up stacked against a team that is just overwhelmingly more powerful than you, it's really not that fun. Okay, so I'm going to go with Soul Absorption. Because we're going to need healing along the way, yeah. But at the same time, health bonuses is going to be nice. I was considering getting Inventor, but honestly, at this point, I'm not going to be combining that many. Like, the thing with Inventor is it's specifically good at... it's specifically beneficial if you're combining a bunch of double combiner spells. And right now, we're not even combining anything. I'm just kind of running around using triple Mind Spike to take out enemies. When, yes, I could clear this faster otherwise, but doesn't seem that pressing to me right now, considering how successful we're being. I'm going to have to come back for all of these runes. Also, looks like there are a couple of... there's at least one door that I've missed. I'll have to get that too. That's not the end of the world. But apart from that, I don't know. I'm still looking forward to Isaac, and I'm probably going to do like 1 or 2 episodes tomorrow. Just to, you know, kind of celebrate. Let's see if I can just crush these guys with poison zombie shots. Okay, it worked. But yeah, I'm probably going to do 1 or 2 episodes, or like 5 or 6, depending on how successful I am. If I have a run that like actually goes for half an hour, then I'll call that like truly successful. But if there's a bunch of like 5-10 minute runs, then I mean I'll still throw them in, but it'll probably be a lot of just like watch Wanderbot fail at Binding of Isaac. Okay, creatable spells undiscovered. What can I make considering I've got a lot of runes that I've been saving up that I'd like to use on stuff? So, oh, air shock, I believe. Yep, air shock. This is a request from, shoot, I didn't actually write it down. Wind beam. Short delay, shoot an immense beam that knocks enemies far away from the center. That's interesting. Okay, it's got a 1-second cooldown, so that could have some interesting applications. I think I am going to go with Prismatic Devil as well. Just because it's such a good, just baseline spell. And we get more fire. Honestly, our drops have been fantastic here. Okay, so let's just... Okay, so it's interesting. It's got strike through. It's got AoE. It's got a lot of potential. I'm interested in using it. It does a lot of damage too. The only problem is the delay is a bit of a downside for me. But I guess it's kind of a necessary downside, because if it didn't have it, then it'd be really powerful. Oh, I'll keep it on the build, at least for today. We'll see if it's if it sticks around though. If only because the one problem with it is very short range, which is kind of unfortunate, because long range is kind of the name of the game with strike through. Or I guess long range is the name of the game for me right now. It's either really short range with like some kind of long range holdout spell, or really long range and just, yeah, see. It's part of the reason. Is like I really don't like having to force myself to even get close to any of these types of enemies. I'm just going to let the zombies take at these skeletons. Okay, well, Wind Beam is definitely... Oh, it's a plus mud golem. I was wondering why he wasn't dying. Okay, well, let's adjust our headphones just a second and go see about that health pickup. Let's just bust into a lot of these. I shaved off my beard. Now my face itches. Yes, I think I've mentioned I had a beard before. I no longer have a beard. And honestly, if you've ever seen the comic where it's like, you know, men shaving or whatever, and it looks like a super rough and tumble man, and he shaves his face and then he's a baby, that's exactly how I feel right this very moment. I was trying to be a little bit more efficient with that, but we took enough damage on the previous room that we did not waste anything there. Perfect. Okay, let's... Actually, I should probably use some of these runes in my inventory. Holy crap. That's a lot of fire runes. I could do some interesting stuff with that. Maybe. Okay, Runedex. Because I'm too far away from a... Oh. Discovered, undiscovered. Yeah, I'm too far away from a triple combiner to really want to rely on it right now. Cards cast, Elemental Trident, Remnants, Bungee. Oh, right. Bungee was an interesting spell, but I'm going to use Bungee the next time I do a melee build. Multi-devil build. Let's try and use something that I don't use often. Whisper's Offering is kind of fun, but it's more of a backup type spell. Let's see, Soul Breach was fun, but... Now, the one thing is, I don't know if Soul Breach is permanent or not, like the increasing stats. Hope not. Now, there's Temporal Repeater, but it's got a longer cooldown. I want to use something with fire. What can I make with fire right now? Magma Laser. Oh, hey, there we go. That's exactly what we were looking for. So, water, fire, fire. Anything else that I can make with it? Burst Dash, Dark Scythe, Red Lightning. Not Buster Bang. Traveler. Howl was kind of fun, but no. Okay, so water, fire, fire. Cooldowns. Okay. And let's get rid of Mind Spike for the time being. So now we've got several interesting spells. Oh, right. Yeah, let's backtrack first, and then I'll get the last room and then leave. I think I probably should have got the Oh well, it doesn't really matter that much. It's just kind of a matter of process here. Okay, and I'm glad we're not playing on Apocalypse difficulty, because I've noticed that doing a level like on Apocalypse difficulty usually ends up just feeling, I could probably actually do the event room now. I've got enough firepower for it. Between Prismatic Devil and Magma Laser and Wind Beam. Oh well, we'll figure it out. So, we definitely want cooldown reduction if I can get it. Because the thing is, Magma Beam is no. Okay, got him. Okay, Battle Hardened, Evasion, Astral Mastery. I'm gonna go with Battle Hardened. Reduce the effect of rune cooldowns. Okay, so we've got one more with full health. No more runes on the ground. Perfect. Let's get out of here. Ideally, if I can be full health... Well, I'm going to be full health, but hopefully I can finish that last room and be full health. And we've got enough health runes, so this is going to be worth it. Okay. Not too much to worry about. Take out the skeleton. Not sure what my overall knockback is. It looks like since I've got so much strike through, I'm not going to be randomly firing any... Okay, well, except for our Prismatic Devil, I'm not going to be randomly firing these anywhere. I'm just trying to rely on... Yeah, come on. There we go. One left. Got it. Okay, so we can do crit damage, bullet speed, movement speed. I'm going to go with movement speed. It's not much, but how? But we'll be fine. And there's plenty of health pickups along the way, so we can get back up to full and do all right. Yeah, that is definitely one of the rooms that I hate. I kind of wish it was one of those where it's like it wasn't a time limit, or... Yeah, I don't know. It's hard to say. I'm gonna have to backtrack if I truly want to be full health. Well, let's see how much damage we take in the next room. I could take a slight damage penalty for fighting, like a slight amount of damage in favor of... Oh, hey. We might not even have to do anything of the sort. Okay, yeah, there we go. We get to be full health. Yeah, because I didn't want to walk all the way back. So what can I do? I can boost the damage of phase missiles, bias him, range and force, nope. Damage and speed, nope. I was hoping I'd be able to boost the duration of Magma Laser, because the unfortunate part about Magma Laser, it does not last long. It feels a lot like lights, actually, in a lot of ways. Okay, so what can I get? Soul Steel. No. Cull? Oh, right. Cull was an interesting one. I'd love to use it at some point, but not right now. What we need is really nice medium to long range strike-through-y type abilities, probably. I don't really have any, actually. So we don't want Void Beach. Soul Breach was interesting, but the cooldown is just so low. Chaos Slumber. Oh, right, this is the one that puts me to sleep. We used Red Lightning in the past. And it wasn't bad, but again, it doesn't do strike-through, which is, for something that long of cooldown, is kind of a problem. The damage over time isn't bad. Like, it does a lot of damage. It's a very good anti-boss skill. We need something a little bit more... I don't know. Something with a little bit more of a punch. Honestly, there's not much. So you know what? Let's just... What can I do? I guess I'll just boost the bias on Prismatic Devil. How much damage does phase missiles go up by? 0.5-ish, give or take. No, 0.35. That's not great. I can probably get it to be, like, double damage by the end of it, but that's obnoxious. Okay. I guess I'll just rely on that for the time being. Let's grab the Dark Rune and get out of here. Worst comes to worst, we get a triple combine on the next floor, and it actually gives us something to think about. So, extra defense, extra damage. I'm gonna go with defense. Damage is nice, but honestly, living is important. Yeah, I do think the long cooldown on Magma Laser is going to provide some problems along the way here. And actually, the strike through, like, the problem is Magma Laser feels like it could be just replaced with Lights, which has a much longer cooldown. Much shorter range, but, you know, the longer cooldown is pretty important. But it could be replaced with Lights, which, you know, has such a... It's pretty darn effective. I think the only problem is it's a little bit on the slow side of things. Right, inventory is already full. But it could be replaced with the Lights or the bouncing light stuff. Honestly, I kind of want to just go back to getting those bouncy light blasts, because those were awesome and had a lot of interesting applications. But I do kind of want to remain unique here. Holy crap, that's a lot of runes we've picked up this room. Well, either way, if I get the chance to get more of the bouncy light spells, I'll probably go for it. I know I was using them last time, but I did feel like I didn't get a whole lot of mileage out of it, which made me sad. I'm also playing very non-cautiously, I don't know, riskily, hastily, just because I actually have no idea. I guess since it's not Apocalypse difficulty, I've misjudged, I'm misjudging the challenge of the game at this point, or I think it's just one of those where I've become overconfident, where it's like, yes, you know, I've gotten up to Apocalypse difficulty, even though I believe when I played Intermediate, it didn't actually, well, I didn't actually beat Ferris, yeah. I didn't actually beat the last boss. It's just, all you have to do is beat Elementalist to unlock the next tier of difficulty. Speaking of, I should probably check my standings along the way here. Yeah, the other problem with Magma Laser is it has such a small hitbox that it ends up being kind of useless. It goes right in there with Current, as far as spells that could be really awesome, but because of their technical limitations, aren't. I'd say Wind Beam is much better purely because it does about the same amount of damage, shorter range, unfortunately. But let's go fight the boss. Why not? We're here. Wow. I have not fought Izilla in a very long time. I think I've only ever fought him twice for whatever reason. Okay, so oh, he's got Elemental Trident and stuff. I have to watch out for when he does the laser. Luckily, we've got pretty enhanced movement speed as a result of being human, so that is a huge boost for us. Now, I can't remember if the eye is the vulnerable part or if it's the body. I have no idea. I'll put out a couple of poison zombies. Let's see if that does useful things for us. Yeah, we are not set up for fighting bosses right now. Okay, what can I make? Not much. It's like Power Bolt is about the only thing I could make right now, which is a darn shame. Oh well, I guess I'll just rely on what I've got instead of trying to, you know, come up with things. I guess we're not doing too terribly. Do have to watch out for the remnants, though. Remnants are bad. Freaking Izilla. Why do you have to be a boss? Honestly, I'm just a little surprised to be fighting Izilla, considering I'd actually forgotten he even existed. I guess he doesn't do too much damage to us. It's just have to worry about that laser. Mainly if you're playing as the Dryad. This is one of those bosses where it's like, you do not want to fight the Dryad and be slow. Okay. Or fight as the Dryad. So we're going with Doctor. There's just no question about what is the optimum choice there. Perfect. And now we can make another triple combiner spell. Unless I've discovered everything. Nope, I haven't. Okay, so I want to use Shock. Fire Shock is one. I'm just trying to pick out the ones with triple. Like, the thing is, I could do, you know, Shock Mind, or Shock Speed Dark. But at the same time, usually Mind and Dark spells are inconsistently powerful. Let's Shock Speed Mind. Okay. Shock Speed Mind. Oh, that's Repulsion. Because that was one of the suggestions from somebody. Okay, Water Mine Light, Fire Dark. Have I done that one? No, I have not. Molten Lake. Create a lake of lava that slowly expands. Does less damage the larger it is. Unfortunately, I get the feeling that this is a specifically ground-targeted type spell. Yep. And as much as I'd like to do a ground targeting run, I'm not quite there yet. This does not alleviate the fact that I'm currently... I feel like I'm a little bit gimped as far as equipment goes, for whatever reason. Well, equipment. I'm gimped as far as abilities go, and I think it's purely just because I have yet to find something that truly fits what I want to do here. Because that bouncy spell, I believe it's like air, and... oh, it's like... Discovered? Isn't it? It's not? Okay. It's like light mind. No? Light air? Oh, right. All spells. Yeah, it's Radiant Blast. No, it's not. Oh, it's light mind. Huh. Light air? Light sphere. Yeah, okay, so we need... Actually, we just need light and air runes. Because I might double down for that one and see if I can go for it. Just because I really did feel like I could have done it better the last time. Also, I think it would fit perfectly for the build. Even though, yes, I've used it for the past 3 runs. I don't know. It's just such a solid attack spell. Ah, man, there we go. Oh, well, I got a fair amount of EXP from it, I think. Hard to tell. Either way, I'll just keep on trucking. We'll see what we get. Because if I can get 1 air, then I'll probably go for it. If I could have 4, I know it's insane and stupid, but I would do it. Just because it seems like something that would go kind of in the same vein as, you know, the Quad Devil or the, you know, the Double Devil or whatever. As well as Quad Fusion. Just because I could see all of those bouncing projectiles just wrecking everything at a distance. And it's such a strong spell. Because, as it stands, Magma Laser just ain't cutting it. Hey, there we go. There's the requisite air rune. So, at the very least, we got that. Because, yeah, our double Mind Spike does not do enough damage. I like the air laser. I need to get more air runes for it. But, if I can get air levels up, and yes, I could just pile air runes into it right now, but that, okay. Let's put 1 shock rune into it, just cause, not bad scaling. And then let's go, doop, light sphere. Actually, yep, none of these. Okay, goodbye phase missiles. And what I'm probably going to do is replace Magma Laser. Now that I've actually used it in, like, a combat setting, it's kind of obvious it's not going to perform as needed. Which is a shame, because I'd love to use it. It's just, it feels like a very mediocre version of spells that I already have. And, I mean, honestly, it's kind of like, if you took, don't stand in the damage zone. If you took, oh, I guess my bouncing light blasts don't actually do strike through. I forgot that. No, they just bounce forever. I swear they did strike through too, but you know what? The fact that they bounce forever is, it works for me. So I might actually refocus at this point and start getting a bunch of those like bouncy light spells as well as the room clearing bouncy light nova. Because if I could have the run of the infinite bounce, that would be really entertaining. Kind of depends on what we find with our triples. I just haven't found any triples lately that I've liked. I'll keep messing around with it and seeing what we got, but I'm going to be a little bit dismissive just because I think it could be very fun fighting Ferris and just lining the room with bouncing damage orbs that actually do like a substantial amount of damage to him. Because these light orbs do like 7-8 a pop, which is solid. And that way I could probably avoid his like super powerful move, whatever that thing is called. Either that or I could go for like some debuffs, because I do have a lot of dark runes, so if I could have like 2 really heavy debuffs on my bar, that could be interesting too. Just not entirely sure how debuffs are handled on NPCs, not NPCs, on bosses, if it's just as adequate as everything else. The one problem with the light orbs is they do not destroy destructibles, which is actually problematic. But neither does like half of the spells that I use. So there's that. Okay, I think this is the last room, unless there's more in it. Nope, this is the last room. Let's send off a couple of zombies, see what they do. Problem is the zombies are useful mainly in the beginning. Apart from that, they're actually kind of useless, which is a shame. Like, the reason why I like the mummy so much, or the Prevnik guy, is their usefulness becomes even more substantial as you get later on in the game. Because the thing is, like, Curse of Prevnik, it works well on bosses, enemies, whatever. These zombies eventually just aren't going to be able to do enough damage to even be worth it. Sneezing at. I'm going to go with shock levels. I use a lot of spells that use shock. Between the light wave and the air laser. The other thing I could potentially go with is... oh, wait. Runedex. There's a spell. All spells discovered. It's not Blowout, not Supernova, not Steam Blast. It was... what was it? Not Buster Bang. It was the one that randomly would explode in front of you. I'm trying to remember what it's called. Not Liquid Fire. Huh, interesting. Liquid Fire kind of feels like a... oh, you know what? Liquid Fire might actually even be better than Magma Laser. Of course, it uses runes that we're going to need for things. But I could see that being kind of effective against stuff. Just because you could put that in the way. Maybe it's not a fire spell. I'm going to look for a second.